So with the algorithms and everything as well, I know that we had a chat one time, and I know that sometimes music can have play a part in that and stuff as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. So you've got the viral, you see in the music, you've got the little arrow. Yeah, but you got you look at the music, and when you see the thing, it's either a music note or an arrow. Oh, yeah. And the arrow is trending music. Unfortunately, my phone's just come out of Thailand. In Thailand, they don't have trending music, so my phone at the moment is not picking anything up. It's really fucking annoying, because I don't know what's trending and what's not. But it's that. Look for the trending sounds. Follow something that they do say. Find a sound that you like. Look at the trending videos in there. Then try to replicate something along the lines of what that trending video is. Yeah. I just go for music that's going to sound good behind the video I'm trying to make. Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what I've done as well. Is looked for trending music, and then found the right trending music to actually put against the video that actually makes it sound good, you know? Yeah. And it does show a big difference. Like when you do post that video, it goes to show that more people are connected to it.
100%. So it's that camera quality, like image quality, video quality. Does long or short work better for you? Yeah. Like some people have like under 10-second reels, some people have minute reels, some people have 3-minute reels. Like what works best for you? Yeah. Find out the times that most of your following's on. So post around those times where most of them are on. Usually you get in there, respond to comments and messages before you post, and do it afterwards as well. So like 10 minutes beforehand, 10 minutes afterwards. So you're active on the thing. Yep.
And that's what social media, Instagram specifically, will see. The algorithm will more.
I'm doing everything that I've been taught and learned. Taught and learned, same thing. But it's, again, a lot of that.
Just consistency.
It chops and changes, man. It's consistency. Just get consistent, be true to your message, have good quality videos and photos, and you should be right.
Yeah. And how many followers do you have now currently?
What was it this morning? 35.8.
Nice. It's pretty good. Short amount of time as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's getting there. I'm really grateful for the people that are following it, and everyone's a part of the journey, and everyone's grateful for what I'm sharing. I think that's the other thing as well. Yeah. Like you've seen some of the videos with Harpe, doing the Harpe ceremonies with Lukey.
I think I've seen you on one of his videos.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to go do it on Monday, but someone got into the slot before I bounced off the broom. But when I'm back, I'll definitely go do it.
Yeah, definitely. Even those, like, it's a different medicine for different people, but and it affects everyone differently. But for me, I do breathwork with it, mainly because I can't fucking breathe.
Are you meant to do breathwork with it, or are you just meant to chill?
Some people chill, some people not. But basically, he just shot 2 shots of dirt straight up my nose, and I'm just going. So I go to breathwork because it's just easier. But with that, it then helps. The way I think it goes into that analogy again of the thermosphere with the different world underneath. Breathwork, psychedelics, meditation, everything else just helps you basically peel that thing back and helps you just see what's underneath it.
Opens a third eye.
Exactly. Exactly. It lifts the veil. It removes that so you can do the work. It's the same with this. Even though Harpe is a grounding, much more meant to be calming one, it can still bring up shit. You have no idea what's going to come up.
Like, can you tell us about your experience actually as well? Because I remember hearing that.
Which one?
Not hearing about there's quite a few, but I remember watching that video before we jump into next questions of monk mode, which you can start as well, my brethren. But I remember watching a video on Luke's page of you having a bit of like a purge.
The screaming one or the vomiting one?
Yeah, both of them. The screaming one, yeah.
The screaming one, I kind of came out of nowhere. I was just like, I was breathing, it was calming down, and then the breath just started coming from deeper, and I was just like, just kept breathing through it, and as I kept breathing with that, it came up, and then it wasn't even rage, it wasn't anger. I have no idea what it was, but it needed to happen. It just got to the point where I was like, rah! And at the end of it, I was like, oof. I needed that. No idea where it came from.
Weight off your shoulders.
It was. The one before that was... there was a purging, there was a vomiting going in with that. That was quite intense. And I was still releasing last little bits towards my ex-wife and all that. But like I've done ayahuasca, I've done all sorts.
You've done ayahuasca as well?
Yes, I've sat with ayahuasca 9 times. And like
that would have been a crazy experience.
They were. Look, ayahuasca, any psychedelic, it doesn't show you what you want, it shows you what you need. And every single session that I've had with ayahuasca has been different. There have been moments where I haven't purged at all. I was giggling. At one point, I was standing in front of a totem pole of 1,000 faces, and that's Mother Ayahuasca. Then I was laughing, then I farted because I laughed because I farted because I laughed. And I was on this cycle for about 5 minutes. And then it was wild. But then I've had other ones where he gave us a brew called Hell's Bodyguard. And he was like, it was me and a mate doing it, and he was like, don't worry, boys, you guys have this. Normally after the first hour, he goes, does anyone want an extra cup? At this point, when he had the Hell's Bodyguard, I did the first 5 minutes, and I was just like in for a fucking ride.
Knock out different dimensions.
I was gone. And he was like, he said, does anyone want an extra cup? And I was like, are you kidding? It's been a fucking hour. Shit. And he's like, don't worry, boys, you got this. Another 3 hours later, and I was still knee deep in. And he was like, I was very close to going, this is too much.
Yeah.
But then I've had my final ceremony. I went through every single emotion, working through my breakup. I went through laughing, crying, anger, hatred, love, compassion. I went through everything and purged in between each different emotion. So it's one of those things which will give you what you need at the time.
Would you recommend ayahuasca for people, for anyone?
I recommend if you have a calling for it. So for me, any psychedelic or anything really that has a calling, there'll be signs that will pop up. It will start appearing in your life a lot more. This is what you need to work towards. If you do go into it and you do mushroom ceremony, you can do tobacco ceremonies, harp aid, never go in with an expectation, because when we expect something, we get nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's you just need to not expect anything, be calm, and just always remember that you know you're there.
Go with the flow.
Exactly. And some people, you have no idea what's going to come to you. Some people it can be intense, some people it can be chill. But it's just, if you're doing it, you're going there with the intention, knowing why you're doing it. But then even still, everyone thinks, I'm going to do ayahuasca, it's going to change my life. No. You're going to go in there, you're going to have an experience, you're going to have emotions, you're going to have visions, you're going to have these things that are going to make you feel a certain way. It's then up to you to do the work afterwards. Because a lot of people will do the ceremony and then go back and they go like, oh, I'm doing the same thing again, it didn't change me. It's like, no. It showed you what you need to do, it showed you the feelings, it showed you the images. It's now on to you to put in the work afterwards. So that's, I think, a common misconception with psychedelics.
Definitely, and I think that's one thing I've said on a podcast quite a few podcasts ago with Johnny as well, is something, the difference between getting the truth but actually listening to the truth, but capturing the truth.
Yep.
Listening to the truth is you getting that truth and stuff as well, but not doing anything with that or weaponizing it. But capturing the truth is, the habits followed up after. It's like anyone can go to church on a Sunday or whatever it is, or go to a Buddha temple and stuff, but what are you doing like after those practices? And the night time in the morning, everything is your habitual habits lined up with the experience that you got, the truth that 100%. Was revealed to you through the third eye or the mind's eye, or this, I guess God touching to you. Not touching to you, not talking to you.
Hold on, we know the Christians have the pastors have a really thing with like God touching you, so.
Well, Christians, well, I mean.
I'm so sorry.
That one's getting posted up.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for any Christian
definitely
people.
Clipping that.
It is what it is. Most of your priests are already in trouble anyway. Anyway.
It's funny, as I love your story and what you've been through, but I want to go on to something else. Yeah. Is you becoming a monk. How did you decide to go into this?
Go ahead.
Yeah, love it.
Still shaved, yeah.
But how did you decide to go into this industry and become a monk? And
so the monk was only for a month, so you have to disrobe at the end of it. Basically, I've wanted to do it for years. Yeah. I've spoken about it, but it's never been a thing. We were in Thailand just as I started the rebrand, actually. We were in Thailand and I saw a video on Instagram. There was this one guy, he basically was on a plane, he was like, before and after living with a monk, I think it was, and basically went like that. Went hair to no hair. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. And the fact you said it was only a month, I'm like, that's doable. I can do that. So I basically looked at it all, signed up straight away. It's a place called iMonastery, where they allow international people to come in and live in a monastery for a month. You have a 2x2 tent that you live in. You meditate 4 to 6 hours a day. They have 2 meals a day for you. Fasting for 19 hours fucking sucks.
Crazy. I did 48 hours and damn, that was hard.
No. This is the thing. We had a little gym there as well, but they said we can't train until the afternoon, and we only have breakfast and lunch. So I'm struggling all day. I'm then training, and next I'm sitting in the evening meditation going, I'm going to kill someone. I'm so hungry. It was so hard. But it got easier as the time went on. We actually got them to get us protein shakes. So we paid for it, but they gave us protein shakes because it was getting to the point where I couldn't focus on the evening meditation. I was so frustrated. So they brought us protein shakes, thankfully, and allowed us to get through. But the reason why I decided to go was I was like, look, I don't know how to meditate. I keep saying I don't know how to meditate. People with ADHD go, I can't meditate. It's just impossible.
Their brain's just running at 1,000 miles an hour.
Exactly. So I'm like, this is why I used to do breath work. But I also used to do a thing called a brain dump as well before I'd meditate with breath work to get everything out of my head onto paper. So when I went to the monastery, I'm like, cool, I'm going to learn to do this because I want to be able to learn. There's a lot of depth that can come with this. Not only that, is I wanted to see who I was without the dopamine detox of caffeine, ADHD medication, phone, people, everything. I wanted to see who I was underneath. And I think that was the biggest thing, because I felt over the years, I was just losing myself to people, to jobs, to labels, to all this sort of stuff. And I had no idea who I was. So when I got there, it was great. I was like, I want to be here. I could do this once a year. It was amazing. As time went on, I realized, one, within myself, I know who I am. I'm after the monastery, I'm more of an evolved version of who I am, but I know who I am. I know the path that I'm going on. The clarity that I got from it was incredible. But I knew it was going to be something that would help my business and me going forward, and me being in the position of changing lives. Unfortunately, people will always look at a label and turn around and go, oh, doctor. Oh, amazing. Or this guy, he's a priest. Probably not so good. But it's like, if someone goes monk and they see monk above it, it's like, great, this guy's done some work. So it then automatically gives me that credibility to then be able to help people take it a step further. Yeah. And I think that was a part behind it. Now, it was literally a part behind it. And it sucks to say that, because you could literally have a wealth of experience, like as a personal trainer, okay? Yeah. You could be the best personal trainer in the world. If you don't know how to sell yourself, you're going to get no one.
100%.
So it's like this with coming to mindset. If I've lived the experience as a monk, at least when I say monk, people are going to go, oh, okay. And they're going to
shit.
Exactly. Exactly. They're going to take credibility to it. But the experience that I got there was completely different. Like, I walked away with what I call true happiness, which I didn't think was possible. I didn't know. I knew something was going to happen before I went away on this 2-month trip, but I had no idea what it was going to be. Literally no idea.
Yeah.
What it turned out to be was the move to Dubai, getting a girlfriend who is fucking incredible. One of those things that kind of came out of nowhere, but it was just everything. You know, after a relationship, you've gone through everything you've learned. The person you don't want to be with, you straight away, me and her, it was this connection with depth of conversation, asking the hard questions, having the hard conversations straight away, but doing this. So that came out of nowhere. But then the happiness came out. And the happiness, when I say true happiness, for the past 5 weeks, I felt like I'm on cloud 9. It feels incredible. I was walking around, I almost could have been floating everywhere. This stuff that's going on back here, I was told this in the middle of my retreat, and I was like, you know what, cool, I'm very calm. I've come back, like I said about the dog, very calm. Everything, I'm very, very chill. I'm happy. And that just comes because I'm not relying on the external things to make me happy. So
it's like detachment in some form. And does this sort of link into like the dependent origination? Like, do you know that concept of...
No, what's dependent origination?
It's technically, I think it's in Buddhism. It's like technically where there's these things that we have cravings for, clingings and everything as well. Austin sort of taught me a bit about it. So it's like the detachment. So it's sort of like the non-self, if that makes sense. Detaching yourself from the external things that cause suffering and some
Essentially, yeah. Like we don't, in the monastery, we didn't look at it through that lens.
Okay.
They do have certain things of like, they want to get to Nibbana. So a monk has 227 precepts, which are 227 rules to follow. A normal person, a lay person like us, we have 5. Which is don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, don't fornicate, or whatever it was.
It's like from the Bible, isn't it? Just in general,
exactly.
Laws.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, look, the way I look at every single religion is they're all the same.
Yeah.
Everything is the same. It's all run by the astrology, but they've all got their own different stories, their own different people that they're using for people to attach to.
Representing the same energy.
Exactly. But it's all the same thing. It's basically don't be a prick. It's basically don't be a prick. And it's like, with that being the case, the monks, they don't call it a religion. It's a way of life. Okay, unfortunately for a monk itself, so there's 3 different types of Buddhism. You've got the Theravada Buddhism, which is what I did, which is the traditional one. That's the 2,500 years old from when Buddha was around. That's why they have 227 precepts. The other ones are in China and Tibet, all through those areas. Those ones are slightly different. Where those ones are different is they're allowed wives, and they can actually touch a woman. With this Buddhism, you have to renounce your family, can't hug your daughter, can't hug your mum, can't hug your wife, none of that sort of stuff anymore.
Be one with yourself.
Exactly. But for them, it's service to self, because everything goes into who they are. I'm here on this journey to become a better meditator, to reach Nibbana. what they do is then the villagers all support them. So with alms, we walk through the village and we collect our food from the villagers. With those villagers, they have no money. Now, I was really torn at the start because there were people around me that were crying after they saw all the villagers, and they were feeling so sorry for them. And I'm like, I've been around Thailand, Bali, and a lot of poor people for a very long time, so it doesn't affect me in that way. Where I look at them and I'm just like, they are so happy. They give their best food to the monks because they support the monks. They do all these good things to create merit. And what merit does is it allows them to, they accrue merit through their life to then, in the next life, come back and have a better life.
It's like the good deeds.
Exactly. So that's literally what they're doing. They're just doing that. They're supporting the monks because the monks are basically their path to be able to live a better life next life. In short. So it's been very interesting living and seeing the quality of life that people have, but how happy they are through that. And they have nothing. Some of the houses these people are living in are literally thrown together by themselves, and they've got 5 kids in there. And they don't have electricity. They don't have this. Like, it's wild. So if they can be happy, and then they're getting that through the way they act in life, the way they are with Buddha, the way they are with meditating, the way they are with supporting the monks and all this, and the way they just accrue merit, I'm sure I can be happy away from the bullshit of everything else. So that's what I started doing. And then just circle back to how the true happiness side of things, these experiences that I had, first off, never get attached to an experience. You could have one where you feel elated, it's beautiful, it's amazing. You go into the next one and you try to attach to that, it's never going to happen.
Oh, keep comparing yourself.
Never compare.
That's the exact same with partners as well. Comparing.
Exactly. Yeah. Never compare. Always take each experience it is for itself. There are things, there's Vipassana, which is basically, you're meant to basically sit still in one position for 10 hours and not fucking move.
Is that what you did?
No, hell no. Sorry, not 10 hours. They do 2 hours on and off, I think it is. But with this one, this is about being relaxed. Find yourself a comfortable position. Sit on a chair. Whatever it is, feel comfortable as you meditate. Then we just focus on your breathing. Getting yourself nice and calm, allowing the breath to go nice and quiet, but then using a mantra or whatever it is to just bring our mind back to the center. And the one we use is Samma Arahang. So on the breath in, you go Samma. On the way out, you go Arahang. And you just repeat that, just through the breath. Follow that, and your mind will start to slow down. And you'll find there are thoughts. A thought will pop, but you'll release it very quickly because you stay here. And if it does go off and you catch yourself, you don't punish yourself, you come back. And over the few weeks, as this started happening, I started having the experiences where you get the lights, you get the tunnel, you get all these different feelings coming up. And I had, the first experience I had actually, I'd closed my eyes. As soon as I closed my eyes, I had an image of a Buddha just throw at me and move past me. And I was like, what? Now, in Buddhism, the way they say is to reach Dhammakaya. Now, Dhammakaya is like the first level of enlightenment, and there's 13 levels to it. The meditation and Dhammakaya had been lost for about 2,000 years. But a guy called Long Po rediscovered it in 1925, I think it was, 1924, in September. We actually did a memorial service for the day that he rediscovered it. But he sat down and he goes, I'm going to sit here or die, but I will attain Dhammakaya tonight. And it was about midnight. He had that thing where he was able to just go through the levels, and he became the face of Buddhism.
Is that just with breath alone, or is that with no substances, no nothing?
No substances, just no nothing. It's just sitting there by yourself. Whatever technique he used, whatever technique it is to get down, because everyone's different, but he was able to attain Dhammakaya, and then he basically rebuilt Buddhism to what it is now, today.
Wow.
Now, with the experience I saw the Buddha, I was like, holy shit, okay. That was is that like first level of enlightenment? What? Next, through that meditation, there was one point I was able to slow down, and I had clouds, and I was able to part the clouds and see a starry sky, and it would go back in. And I'd be playing with it. It was like a game for me to pull this apart. And I was like, wow. Then later that day, we had another one. And I had basically felt like someone was standing in front of me shining a torch in my eyes. We were in a dark room. And I was like, wow. Then I had the feelings of love, gratitude, everything you can think of that is a positive feeling come up. I had tears streaming down my face. And basically, I got to this white light. And I was to the point where it was so bright. And I'm like, I can feel Buddha on the other side. I can feel this pull, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm about to get enlightened. As soon as I attached to that thought, pulled me straight out of it. I was like, shit. But I had another 2 experiences like that. And through those experiences of me getting to that level, I came out of it and I just haven't been able to lose my happiness from that.
So you've been pretty happy the whole time?
I've been pretty happy the entire time. Yeah. Even coming back to the stories that I've been told and what's been going back on, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Sweet.
So would you say the biggest lesson you took from going through that would be happiness? Is feeling content with pretty much your life and not giving a fuck about anything around you.
Yeah. I mean, look, we have to give certain fucks.
Family and things like love, friends and all that type of stuff.
But the thing that I found and the thing that I took away was happiness is inside us. And it's a cliche, but everyone hates a cliche because they're fucking correct. It is. Happiness is inside us. I was able to achieve that by sitting there and just sitting with my breath and doing that consistently.
Being in your mind and pretty much finding out who you are.
But it's not even, we're internal. So the way they talk about it is our mind is down here. Two fingers above the belly button is where the mind is. And that's, we try to pull ourselves into the mind. Like I feel I stay here. Like I watch what's going behind, I become an observer. But I was able to achieve all of this, I would achieve all of this through just being quiet and being silent and just trying to silence my mind. Because the more you silence the mind, which it is possible, the more you silence the mind, the deeper you can go. Now, there's no such thing as a failed meditation either. Like people go, I wouldn't shut my mind up. I couldn't do this. It sucked. I was just uncomfortable the whole time. Well, if you're uncomfortable, make yourself comfortable. But if the mind is wandering, that's okay. You do your best to try to bring it back. If you do a whole hour and it comes back only a few times, still, it's like training. It's like going to the gym. You're playing basketball and you're turning up to practice every Thursday night to then play for your game on Saturday. You have to turn up, you have to practice, you have to drop the ball, you have to do all this sort of stuff to get to the game on Saturday. So when we're meditating, we're creating the safest or the best environment for us to be able to have the best experience with a quiet mind. So using the mantras, making sure you're comfortable, whatever it is, but treat everything as practice. All you have to do is just show up and sit every day, be consistent with it, and the mind will quiet. You'll get better at it. You'll dive deeper. It's just having that patience to be able to just go down.
Especially just showing up as well is such a big important part. Like you said, it's not a failed meditation. If you showed up and you participated, that's something that's truly amazing as well. And I remember I did a meditation at Austin's house when I went to see him not too long ago and stuff, and I did about like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and that felt like a long time.
Yeah. But this is the thing. When you're not used to it, it feels like a long time. You get to the point where 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours feels like nothing. Like I remember the first week in there, I was meditating. I'm like, this is bullshit, man. Come on. It's just, I was like, I can do it, but I'm uncomfortable, all this sort of stuff. I get to week 2, when I had that first experience with the light in my face, that was only a half an hour thing and it felt like 10 minutes. And I was like, that was not, come on, man. And there are other ones I think the longest I sat for was 2 hours. And that 2 hours felt like an hour.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Because you go deeper. You end up having these feelings of like, I check in with my body regularly. So I'll be sitting there. I've actually recorded the sounds of the monastery. So I put my phone down. I recorded the nature. So I meditate to that.
So you still do that now?
Oh yeah, I still do that now. Yeah, okay. I put that behind me. You'll see me meditating. I go through my body. I'll be somewhat out of hung the entire time. And then just every now and again I check in with the body, make sure everything's relaxed. Within about 5-10 minutes, my body doesn't exist. My body doesn't exist. I'm a mind, and I'm just watching the thing going on behind my eyes.
Interesting.
And then I'll come out of it, and it'll be like this. I have my alarm, which will vibrate on my arm, and almost like someone's pulled you out of a dead sleep. But it's that. It is so powerful. It's just sit up and show up and do it daily. And
you feel a lot more in your body after as well, hey? A lot more relaxed. Hey,
you're present.
Present. You're really present. And that's one thing I noticed through the 30, 40 minutes is, I remember Austin telling me, and I'm sure you probably think the same, is like when thoughts come up, you just see it for what it is. You don't add more layers on top of it because it keeps you in a spiral of thinking to see it for what it is and push it to the side and keep focusing on the breath.
Yeah, well, it's a step back and observe. So the mantra doesn't have to be somewhat out of hung. It can be whatever. You could be going, I am. You could be going, step back and observe. You could be going in, out with your breath. It doesn't have to be somewhat out of hung. It's whatever's going to calm you and keep you center. But you feel so much more present with life afterwards. Like the walk I do every morning is with my dog along Hillary's, and the houses along there. Even I was at Scarborough the other day. Trigg, sorry. I was walking along the water and I'm looking at the houses and I'm like, I haven't noticed half of these houses. But these houses are incredible. They're beautiful. And I'm like, I've never seen this before. And they clearly haven't been constructed and had people living in them in 2 months. But it's just how much more present I've become with it all. Yeah. One other side note as well is if you can't meditate, sit for 5 minutes. Set yourself a goal of 5 minutes a day. That's it. Doesn't have to be anything more. But you're showing up every single day. Then move it to 10. Then challenge yourself on a day if you can. Move it a bit longer. But start at 5 minutes. Don't think I have to meditate for an hour or half an hour. Because you're gonna get bored. You're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
So start small.
May as well make it fun for yourself in somewhat form.
Exactly. Yeah, baby steps. Just compound. And I find myself to I have moments where I'll meditate for half an hour. Next, someone's come through crashing, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to finish this. I'll have another half an hour later that day. Next, I've just meditated for another hour. Nice. Because it pops up, and I do it when I can. Yeah. But I do try to start the day with it.
It's good. I might need to start doing it a little bit as well. I have been trying to do at least 5-10 minutes a day, which has been not too bad. Yeah. Stuff as well, just keeping it like that. I listen to a guy. Have you heard of Tantras?
No.
So some African American girl, she sings, just does
is she on social media where she sits in the forest and sings?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Luke has posted her up on used her music in the background of her songs and stuff. Yeah, all her videos.
Her voice is beautiful.
Absolutely,
yeah, her voice is beautiful.
And there's another guy that uses a hand pan things.
Yep. I'm learning that.
This is cool. I choose.
Yeah, I'm learning that. I can't wait.
Is it hard?
It's once you have the rhythm and all that, it's quite nice. I've learned some basic flow with it, but my missus has one over in Dubai, so as soon as I get there, I was going to buy one. She goes, no, I've got one. I'm like, yes.
It's peaceful, isn't it?
The frequency of them.
Insane. It's quite healing. Yeah, I remember I was listening to one in the car a couple of weeks ago. I was literally driving. A video was called "I Pray to God," and this guy's so good, bald head, Caucasian guy. Really, really good. I'm pretty sure his name starts with an M or something.
Yeah, I think I know the guy. I was watching him. The monks, sorry to cut you off. In the Buddhists, you're not allowed, in their rules, they're not allowed to have music, or they're not allowed to listen to music, or not allowed to dance, and certain things like that. And it was killing me. And then it was really killing me. The last day that we were there, me and my mate were cleaning the meditation room. And there's a TV in there. And normally that monk, he plays Sama Arahang on repeat. This guy actually, he's attained level 1 Dhammakaya. And when he did that, he was actually taken to a different part to be a part of a meditation team. And they meditate 10 hours a day.
That's a long time.
And he's done that for 10 years.
Yeah.
He is the happiest man I've ever met. It's ridiculous. But he's literally, the only thing he has is Sama Arahang on his phone. So if you're walking around, that's all you hear is Sama Arahang. And it's just like, why no wonder you're so happy. Anyway, he was usually helping us clean the meditation room, and he wasn't there that day. So I just grabbed the remote, went to YouTube, put that guy handpan on the background, and was cleaning the handpan after a month of no music. Oh my God, it was the first thing I wanted to listen to.
Would have been like sex to the ears.
It was great. I was just like...
That's exactly how I felt in the car, literally like that. I just literally felt like I just tapped into a frequency when I felt like I needed to pray. I just felt so I am that I am. My life is so amazing. It's literally interesting, the frequencies that I give you.
Yeah, I just noticed something as well. You're saying I pray, and I said this, and I made some religious jokes towards Christians. I do apologise if I've offended you in that moment.
Oh, no.
I just been listening to you. He said pray a lot. And I'm like, oh shit, I've just got to make these Christian jokes.
But it's not like that for me. I have the exact same view as you. Okay. I think there's no... When you think about the idea of truth and everything is in impermanence. Everything always fluctuates. I think that all these religions, they have their own truth. Yep. And the way I look at it is that all these people had these spiritual experiences around the world, but since they're all different people, spoke different languages, perceived things differently in different geographical locations, they all wrote their own book based on their perception. 100%. And it's all based around supporting the same energy. So I don't 100%. Think there's no truth. There's no one that with a Bible or Quran can come say, my book is right, your book is wrong.
Law of one.
Law of one, yeah, absolutely.
The law of one is, I'm a firm believer in the law of one, that everything stems from that sort of area. I don't know if you look at law of one.
I don't think I have.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I understand the concept of it, but I haven't looked into it.
I'm going to send you some. I'll send you some things. But the law of one, once I found, because I've gone through the religions. I was a Christian at one point. I was almost going to become Muslim for a couple of friends. They would try to get me to do it. I'm looking at it, going, I'm not sure. It's tempting because a lot of people, especially I'm living in Dubai. And a lot of people, they all share the same things.
Muslim, it's more Muslim dominated, you could say, over there.
Exactly, definitely. But they all share the same sort of things. So it's I'm not against religion. Religion gives people something to follow. For me, I believe in the universe. Everything's energy. Yes. And with everything being energy in the universe, God, Allah, Jesus, whoever you want to follow, amazing. To me, they're all the same thing. They're all leading to the same thing. It's like, think of it like a funnel, okay? All these religions are lined up, but in actual fact, they go like that. Everything just feeds into that. You all live the same life. You all live a righteous life. You all don't kill, don't steal, don't do this sort of stuff. Cool, you're going to go to a better place. So we're all going to be together.
Oh, without a doubt. Yes.
So yeah, but yeah.
Good to do that for sure. I think, it's good to have that type of perception anyways. Otherwise it turns into dogma, and it turns into judgment, and it turns into separation. And separation is not good for the unity of the world and people coming together for expansion and, proper change for the world as well. It's geographically and, demographically as well, 100%. Psychologically.
100%. Look, when you look at the law of one, it's every time we've had thousands of lifetimes, we're going to have thousands of lifetimes. The universe is, the way they describe it, the universe, an eon or whatever it is we're going to we live on a Big Bang.
Expansion.
Big Bang. Yeah, it is. It's that. But every single time the thing comes in, it's like Big Bang. So we have this whole experience again where we're learning different things again, boom, 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 and again. So we've already had multiple Big Bangs. This has been repeating for years. But where we are is we're all learning. We're all here to learn. We're all a part of a collective consciousness. Again, this is all personal opinion for what I've learned with the law of one, but we're all a part of a collective consciousness learning. We're learning. As soon as we're done here, we go up. It's like, cool, what do I need to learn for the next life? What didn't I overcome? We then come back down, we live again. And we go through these things. And this is where, what I mentioned slightly earlier, is third density and fourth density. Third density is where we were in the state of the industry. Everything's been building. Everything is like we're going through where civilization's beginning. We're getting to the point now where, have you noticed a lot more people waking up?
Oh, for sure. Okay. Yeah. So especially this year.
Exactly. But what they say is 2012 was when we went from third density to fourth density. Fourth density is where we have to select, end of third density, start of fourth density is where we have to select service, self-service to others. But this is where we start splitting and we're seeing the divide. Now with this is where you're seeing a lot more people waking up. People are seeing the shit going on, so we're shifting that way. You've got the other people which are still service to self and are going that way. But we're getting to the point where, like with meditation, the depths that people have attained through meditation, and they're not allowed to talk about it's one of their rules, is people have telepathy. People can fly, people can do these things. Because we actually can do these things. We're just not at the energy frequency to be able to do these things yet.
Because of society and the matrix or the way things are being proposed upon us or bestowed?
We're energetically not there yet. There's so much, you know how they talk about us having, we're going to use 10% of our brains, which is bullshit. But it's like that. Let's use that as an example. From what we physically can do, from what we understand about our reality, from physics, from what we understand about the quantum field, everything, we can only have a certain amount of knowledge. We aren't ready to understand all this other shit that comes with it because we haven't evolved yet. So look at a phone. If we put a phone in someone's hand back in 1920s, they would have been like, what the fuck is this? Where now we can't conceive what's coming in the next 20, 30, 40,000 years. But that's because our brains aren't ready for it yet. So as we evolve, we're going to have the telepathy. We're going to have these certain things that we can do. So I think I completely lost where I came from for that one. But that's one of the beautiful things of what meditation can do, is it allows you to go deeper, to work on that frequency, to remove those blockages, to allow things to actually start to happen more. And it was freaky. We had the guy at the monastery. He'd be observing us all the time. And it's watching, but watching as if he's also trying to learn English, which is quite cool. But he'd be observing us all the time, and it's almost like he can pick up on what we're saying, but it's like he's
in your mind.
Yeah, he's doing that, and it's a few of the boys was like, I'm pretty sure that's what he can read minds. It does happen. There are people that can do it.
For sure. Well, I experienced something like that back in the days when I tried LSD.
I literally that one.
Absolutely, I literally could do telepathic stuff with my friend. Him and me were in a gathering around other people. There was some girls making some jokes and stuff, and we didn't even talk for like 30 minutes. But we looked at each other, and I just nodded my head, and I just knew exactly. We're just on the same frequency and level of on an energetic level, and I literally knew everything he was saying. For some reason, just through body language and like literally just like words were getting projected at me with his mouth being shut.
Okay, do you know? I can't remember the name of it. It was Paul Stamets. Have you heard of Paul Stamets?
No.
The mushroom guy. So Paul Stamets, he's the mushroom guy. He literally has a hat made of mushroom. Basically, he's one of the guys who's
mushroom?
Yeah, he's been leading the charge on magic mushrooms and mushrooms and what they can do for us. He was telling a story about his mentor. And basically, his mentor had been microdosing for 50, 60 years, whatever it was. And he had a hearing aid in, and basically what he'd done is he'd laid down on his front porch and he'd taken his hearing aid out. And out of nowhere, he could hear like snip, 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 snip. He's like, what the fuck's that? He looked to the side and he could see ants going at a crumb. Now, for that split second while he's heard that, his brain is reconnected through the use of psychedelics for him to be able to have that moment of hearing.
Yeah.
You were able to have
sonic hearing.
Exactly, but you were able to talk to your mate. through telepathically. Like, this is the thing. We have moments where these things slip through to us. We're seeing these things. The aliens never fucking existed. They've denied it for so long, and now it's like, hey, by the way, we have aliens.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many things that we're like, oh, that's impossible. That will never happen. But these little moments happen, don't they?
Absolutely.
So it's like all these things that they're so close in our reach, but we're also sheltered from the shit like society puts on top of us, that we're drinking, we're fucking covered in drugs, there's anger. Yeah, there's all these things which are basically just dumbing us down. So it's like we can't attain these levels. But it's almost like there's a group of people above us that are turning around and going, well, we're going to dumb you fuckers down. You stay down there, we're going to keep all the stuff for us. This is how we know how to get them all. That's almost like what it feels what it's like. But yeah, okay, I'll take a breath. Anyway, I hope that answers the question or a tangent. But
definitely. That's good. I love the tangents. I think it's really good for us to learn as well, especially for you to express what you've been doing, but also for our viewers and everything like that. I think it's really, really good.
Thank you. One last little bit. I think with the Law of One, what became more apparent is through the Buddhist texts. As I was listening to what they were teaching, I'm like, oh, they share a lot of what the Law of One talks about. Where we're talking about reincarnation, karma, things we have to learn, all these sorts of things. So it was very interesting seeing this. Plus, the reason why I actually went there, one of the reasons why I went there was I was like, you never see an extremist Buddhist. You see extremist Islam, extremist Christian, you see all these extremists. You never see that in Buddhism. I want to go there. It's calm.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You can see the correlation. And,
So,
absolutely.
I love the fact that you go through these experiences, so then you can go back and share these experiences with other people and let other people learn off you. I got some last questions here for you. I just wanted to know, what are your future plans within your business or your job that you do? And do you have any favorite quotes that you pretty much live by?
Believe and thoughts become things is a big one. I've had that for years. Love that. I mean,
it's probably hundreds.
There's hundreds. Thou shalt not be a prick is one thing I talk about a lot. Thou shalt not be a prick. I feel that's a big one. When people talk about religion, I'm just like that. Business-wise, I said one thing that came to me in the meditation actually was I need to go to Dubai and I need to start working within corporate, doing breathwork and meditation to help with productivity through the day for the officers. And when I came out of the monastery, one of my mates gave me a phone call and he was like, so I want you to be a coach for me, start working online coaching for a little bit. You don't have to do it forever. But one thing I'm working in is moving into corporate and doing breathwork and meditation for people in corporate. And I was just like, no fucking way. That's what?
That's big.
Yeah. So when that happened, I'm like, cool. So that's one area of focus. Me and Luke are going to be doing a bit of work together as well, which would be good. But my big goal, my very big goal is to be traveling around the world, speaking on stages, talking on podcasts. I only want to coach 5 clients every 6 months.
Being very specific, you can put all your energy into
very specific. They get everything. They get all of me. But it allows me to still travel, do those things, speak on podcasts, speak on stages, but eventually have my own seminar where I can have my own seminar where I am standing on stage in front of thousands of people, talking my truth, but changing their lives that way. I will continue to travel the world and experience these things that people don't want to do. It is because from what a lot of people will make a judgment on something without ever doing it. They'll turn around and they'll be like, why the fuck would you meditate? Why would you do this? And it's like, well, have you experienced it before? No, your judgment is that. And because you have your judgment on something you've never done before, you're now limited to your understanding of it and your own growth. So for me, if I can go do something, I can experience and I can go, by the way, guys, this is what happened for me. By the way, it's what happened to me. I'm giving you anecdotal evidence of what happened. I'm not turning around and going, do this is what's going to happen. It's fucking not. Where you are in your life is exactly what's going to happen. How open you are is exactly what it is.
Touché.
But again, if I can share my experience and the vulnerability and everything that I go through in life, for people to know that it's okay to break down these barriers that everyone's got against themselves at the moment. Oh, I can't show my emotion here. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's like, well, you can. You're just afraid of judgment. And at the end of the day, judgment's going to come from people that actually don't understand what you've done. So their opinion about what you've done or why you've done it is completely fucking irrelevant.
True.
So that's why I do that. And yeah, I think that's basically it. I have a family as well.
Yeah,
want to have a family.
I think that's amazing. I love your journey. Like Johnny said, I think it's truly amazing what you've been doing as well, impacting people, leading people, wanting to speak on stages. I think it's true value as well, and especially all your experiences. It's really multifaceted, and I love that. And it reminds me of my life as well, because when I try to think about my life sometimes as well, it's like it's done so many different things, drug dealer to, fighting and some violence and this and that, and a lot of different things, you know what I mean? So there's so much different aspects and things I've tried as well, especially being 23 now and stuff, different lifestyles I was in, different things I've tried and all of that type of stuff, things I've seen, experiences, all that type of stuff, substances, having a bit of fun partying. It's interesting, and I love the dynamic of how it's changed as well. And some of the last questions are, what are your core values? This is before the last question. What are your core values? It could be 2 or 3.
No. So the beauty, we actually with my missus, we actually had this is one of the questions we asked each other. So we've been diving. Literally, we were like, look, we've both been through relationships before. We both know what we want, what we don't want. I really, really like you. I'm really attracted to who you are. She's beautiful as well. But I'm like, I really want to know. I want to make sure we understand each other and we ask these difficult questions, but we can support each other and we know where each other comes from. So this is one of the questions we asked. It was very interesting because she had some great ones as well. So honesty is a big one. Honesty, transparency is the biggest thing.
And that's a part of one,
that's a part of transparency. Yeah, honesty, transparency, because I want everyone to always know where I am. Not exactly what I'm doing, but I want people to know who I am, why I'm sharing this, and why I've done these things. Because if I'm transparent, no one can come to me later on in life and go, oh, well, I found this guy. He was literally doing porn and doing this. You can't trust him anymore. If I'm transparent from the start and honest from the start, you can't come after me in a few years down the track.
I love that.
The cancel culture shit. I'm just saying.
Certainly.
Yeah, I don't want, so that's one of them. Integrity is a big one. So making sure I'm always the person that I say I am. I'm not giving you a false narrative. I'm not showing you who I am for the camera, and then I'm walking off and I'm a completely different person. So that's another one. I had 3 of them. There was honesty, transparency, loyalty. That's a big one.
What does that mean?
So loyalty for me.
Oh, loyalty. Okay. Loyalty for you, but from your perspective.
But there's loyalty. So I've got the people. You see me. I've got forbidden. I think it's that side tattooed there. I've got forbidden tattooed around my leg. That was the guys I used to strip with. They took me in when no one gave me an opportunity, and I had Thunder Down Under. I had Dream Boys trying to take me away and offer me so much more money, and I was like, no, I'm with these guys because they took a chance on me. When I'm in a relationship, I've been cheated on, and I fucking don't like it, and no one should ever have that. So a big thing for me, if I'm with you, I'm with you. That's it. There was that. There was communication.
It's a big one. Communication's key.
Exactly. So making sure I'm able to communicate with people, making sure if I have to re-ask a question or if I have to do something silly, I will call you, I will ask you, I will do this. I will always ask the questions. I'll always go deeper. Unless I'm kind of want to get away from there, then I won't. And there was a couple more, but they're the main ones. I just feel if everyone knows about me in a sense of I don't want everyone knowing my full private life because there are some things I'd like to keep private, but most of the things is I want everyone to be fully aware. So it's cool, this guy's actually not hiding anything. He can be vulnerable, he can be accountable, he can communicate, and he's funny. So yeah, but it's having those. Yeah. So I think they're my main ones.
I love those. Thank you for sharing. I think that's really good. And the last question we always ask our guests, I think this is a really good question as well, just to express a little bit, for a couple minutes or just for a minute. How it doesn't have to be, a long time and stuff as well. But can you share a last message with us and our audience as well? Could be just looking at the camera and just providing value. What would you pass to people? What's just a last message, a word of encouragement, some motivation, just anything, whatever comes to your mind, whatever you feel, whatever you want to express.
Get out of your own way. Everything you want to achieve in life, everything that you feel you can achieve, you can do it, but you need to get out of your own way. The thoughts you tell yourself, the stories you tell others about who you are, you become those stories. People talk about ADHD, people talk about sickness, people talk about whatever it is, they become that story or that diagnosis. And they live to that, and that becomes their reality. Step out of your own way. If you truly want to change and you want to not be that person anymore, then that comes down to you. That comes down to the thoughts you're telling yourself. But it's a long process, but it can be fucking done. And if you need help, come see me.
that was powerful.
That was a good one. I like that.
Thank
Definitely
you.
pretty potent.
Thank you.
Yes, that's a good one. Any last questions for you, Johnny?
Nah, it's fucking Yeah.
Fucking. Yeah. You know you've got someone when you go, nah, fucking speechless. I'm good.
No, I love that. Thank you, Ash, for coming on and sharing your story and giving our audience valuable content that they can take home with themselves and learn.
Anytime.
But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you watched all the way through. If you ever do need help with anything, as Ash was saying, hit him up. He's always there. I'm sure he can interact with you, even if you don't want to open up to him straight away. I'm sure you will eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheers, JJ and Ash, for everything.
Let me just give this. So if you want me on Instagram, please follow me at consciously_Ash. Mind Body Mastery is on the school platform, and DM me. You've got my website, mindbodymastery or consciouslyash.com. I'm there. Thank you.
Beautiful. All right. Cheers, guys.